The city of Cleveland has reached its breaking point, and owner Jimmy Haslam now finds himself sitting atop a football disaster so chaotic it makes reality television look coordinated. The calls to fire Kevin Stefanski aren't just growing louder. They've reached a fever pitch. The people of Cleveland aren't asking anymore. They're demanding answers, demanding action, demanding accountability. Right now, today, before another snap is played. To understand how it got this bad, you have to look at how many layers of incompetence have stacked on top of one another. This isn't simply about a losing season. This isn't about a team still searching for its identity. This is about a franchise that has somehow turned one of the most promising quarterback prospects in the league into a bystander, all while the season spirals into embarrassment. It's not just a bad year. It's a textbook example of how to destroy hope in record time. Cleveland has officially hit rock bottom, standing as the worst team in the entire National Football League. Not just in record, but in direction, in vision, in spirit. And somehow, despite it all, Kevin Stefanski is still at the helm, clinging to his position while the organization burns around him. The Browns' loss to the New York Jets wasn't just another defeat. It was a statement of failure. A 27-20 final score that masked just how unwatchable those 60 minutes of football truly were. It wasn't close, and it wasn't competitive. It was chaos disguised as a football game. In those 4 quarters, the entire identity of this team fell apart. The coaching, the discipline, the preparation, everything. Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback Stefanski refuses to bench, delivered one of the worst performances by a Brown starter in years. He looked lost, rattled, and completely unprepared for the moment. Each throw seemed like a coin flip, and most landed nowhere near his receivers. Decision-making? Non-existent. Pocket awareness? Gone. He looked like a rookie thrown into a playoff game he didn't belong in. And as the frustration mounted in the stands, it was impossible to ignore the chants echoing through the stadium. Fans calling for Shedeur Sanders. That moment said everything. Thousands of Cleveland fans, disgusted by what they were witnessing, began chanting for the rookie quarterback who has yet to take meaningful snaps. Cameras caught Shedeur on the sideline, helmet in hand, trying to keep his composure. You could see the tension in his eyes, the frustration, the disbelief, the quiet understanding that he was watching a train wreck he could have helped prevent. At one point, he was even caught speaking to Gabriel, offering guidance or reassurance. But it was clear he knew the writing was on the wall. The fans wanted him. The team needed him. The only person who couldn't see it was Kevin Stefanski. The local media, once cautiously diplomatic, has turned on Stefanski with a vengeance. Radio hosts, columnists, and analysts across Cleveland have gone from asking questions to issuing ultimatums. One of the city's biggest sports stations, 92.3 The Fan, tore into the organization this week. They laid it out bluntly. The Browns gave Dillon Gabriel enough time to prove himself, and he failed. Now it's time to see what Shedeur Sanders can do. But there's a deeper, more disturbing narrative emerging from those discussions. Some insiders are beginning to suspect that Stefanski and the front office aren't keeping Shedeur on the bench for developmental reasons. They're doing it out of fear. The analysis was brutal but accurate. Even if Shedeur were to start, the same problems would exist. The poor offensive line, the inconsistent receivers, the broken play calling. But that's exactly why this situation is so infuriating. The Browns have nothing left to lose. Their season is over. They're not making the playoffs. They're not competing for anything meaningful. So what is the point of continuing this charade? The rest of this season should be about one thing: evaluation. The coaching staff should be finding out whether Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback of the future. Yet, week after week, Stefanski continues to roll with the same failing formula, seemingly more interested in proving his stubborn philosophy right than saving his season. Even ESPN Cleveland has joined the chorus of outrage, calling the decision to stick with Gabriel organizational stubbornness masquerading as conviction. One of their hosts even floated an idea so explosive it sent shockwaves through Cleveland's football community, that Kevin Stefanski would rather get fired than play Shedeur Sanders. It sounds dramatic, but when you look at the facts, it might not be far off. This is no longer about football. It's about ego, pride, and politics. Because if Shedeur comes in and performs well, Stefanski and the front office will be forced to answer the most uncomfortable question of all. Why did they wait so long? Why waste half a season losing games that might have been winnable if they had given the rookie a chance? Behind closed doors, this has become a power struggle. Reports suggest that Stefanski isn't the only one blocking the move. It's a collective decision involving him, General Manager Andrew Berry, and the rest of the leadership group. Together, they've created a situation so toxic that some insiders believe they'd rather go down together than admit they were wrong. And that's where this whole saga crosses from incompetence into sabotage. Whether it's personal resentment towards Shedeur's famous father, Deion Coach Prime Sanders, or jealousy of the rookie's fame and charisma, something beyond football seems to be influencing this decision. The organization has restricted Shedeur's media access, limited his reps, and treated him like an outsider rather than a future franchise cornerstone. It's a baffling, almost self-destructive approach for a team that drafted him in the first round to begin with. Some fans and commentators have gone further, suggesting that there may be cultural or racial undertones in how Shedeur is being evaluated, that perhaps, consciously or not, old biases are still shaping perceptions of young black quarterbacks who don't fit the traditional mold. It's uncomfortable to talk about, but ignoring it would be dishonest. The optics are bad, the treatment inexplicable, and the consequences are becoming catastrophic. You don't need to look far to see the double standard. Other rookies around the league have been given opportunities despite struggles, but Shedeur, despite his talent and pedigree, remains sidelined while the team collapses. At this point, there's only one person who can fix this: Jimmy Haslam. The owner has been criticized before for meddling too much, but this is a moment that demands intervention. Stefanski and his staff have lost the locker room, the fan base, and the benefit of the doubt. The time for patience is over. Haslam needs to step in, take control, and make the call that the entire city of Cleveland is waiting for. Either play Shedeur Sanders or clean house immediately. Fire the coach, reshuffle the staff, do whatever it takes to restore some sense of direction. Because what's happening now isn't just a losing season. It's an organizational failure on a scale that could haunt the Browns for decades. Every day they delay this decision, they risk more damage to their credibility, to Shedeur's development, and to their relationship with the fans. Cleveland has spoken. They're done waiting. The media has spoken. They're done covering for this dysfunction. And if Haslam doesn't act soon, he'll be left owning not just another losing team, but another broken franchise defined by its refusal to change when change was needed most. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This entire situation has become one of the biggest embarrassments in modern NFL history. So what do you think? Should Jimmy Haslam fire Kevin Stefanski today and hand the reins to Shedeur Sanders before it's too late? Is there any excuse left to justify keeping him on the bench while the team implodes? And if the Browns were to trade him to another team, say Pittsburgh or Baltimore, could that go down as the worst decision in franchise history? Drop your thoughts below. Let's get this conversation started. And make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter in this unbelievable Cleveland disaster. Because trust me, it's far from over.